Okay, welcome everybody. This is Catherine from Denver Natural Mom, and I'm thrilled to have a dining room full of midwives this afternoon as we introduce you to the midwives from Baby+Company. That is Denver's newest birth center, and they're opening just in a few weeks. It's super exciting for anybody in the neighborhood, but also just any woman or mom or parent in Denver because it just gives us so many more options and choices for how we have our babies and where we have them. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce who's with us today and let them tell you a little bit about themselves. Susan Mitchell and Laura Telke are the midwives from Baby+Company here today, and also Lizzie Umara, our community liaison. And we'll all have the opportunity to hear from her in a little bit. For now, Susan and Laura, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Hi, I'm Susan Mitchell. I've been working with birthing families for 10 years in different roles. I was a labor and delivery nurse for many years, a childbirth educator, and I've been practicing as a midwife for the past 2 years in Boulder.
And I'm Laura Telke. I've been a midwife for the last 5 years. I've worked in birth center setting as well as hospital setting, and I'm very excited to be back in the birth center setting and giving women just additional choices through that pregnancy process. So we just wanted to tell you a little bit more about Baby+Company, but as well as the midwifery model of care in the birth center setting. Baby+Company's main mission is to help healthy moms deliver and care for healthy babies in a low intervention setting. And just to speak a little further about that through our high quality and personalized care. And so that involves seeing midwives through your prenatal care as well as through the labor process, the birth, the postpartum area, and then also well women care and preconception care. We see women for their annual exams, their pap smears. We can see you if you're not pregnant, but you're thinking about getting pregnant for birth control. And then our education and wellness services. And so Baby+Company is very big and prides ourselves on the education that we provide to our clients throughout the process of the pregnancy, birth, and postpartum atmosphere. We also have a team approach to the care that's provided at the birth center. And so you'll see throughout your visits as well as your labor and postpartum certified nurse midwives. And so those are registered nurses who have gone on to receive their master's degree in midwifery and are licensed in the state of Colorado as certified nurse midwives, as well as childbirth educators and registered nurses, all providing that holistic care for our mamas coming through to give them the education and the resources they need to obtain that healthy mom and healthy baby outcome.
Oh, I just see a question popping through, Laura, about due dates and when you're accepting births. Can we go ahead and address that now?
Yeah, so we will be opening our doors on June 1st for clinic visits. Of course, our grand opening is going to be May 30th. And we'd love to see mamas who are thinking about getting pregnant or early in pregnancy as soon as we open doors. And we will be accepting due dates starting at mid-August. So looking forward to starting to catch babies in the birth center in August.
Yeah. So if you're under care somewhere else, that's usually not a problem, right? If somebody wanted to transfer over to Baby+Company and if they have a chance to meet you guys.
Absolutely. I think if people are interested, it's a really great idea to come take a tour of the birth center, maybe have an opportunity to talk with Laura and I about what your hopes and needs are for pregnancy and labor, and we can see if it seems like a good fit.
Okay, great. Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's a great question. And then what is different about labor and birth in a birth center setting? And so within the birth center setting, and more specifically for the labor process, we're really big on movement and changing mama's positions throughout the process. We know that babies have a big job of maneuvering the pelvis in order for the birth to occur. And so, getting her into different comfortable positions throughout that process, as well as eating and drinking freely throughout labor. And so this is something that's actually very important to us. And, we see labor as a marathon, and we wouldn't ask you to run a marathon without eating or drinking. And so we're very big on making sure mamas stay well hydrated and fed throughout that process. I think if you look at birth centers in general, you'll notice that they have a lower C-section rate as well as a higher breastfeeding rate in that postpartum period. And that just speaks for the support that we provide women as well as the education around this natural process in their lifespan. Comfort measures. So we always get the question on pain control. How am I going to do this without my epidural? And to that, I think it's a lot about the environment and the atmosphere of the room. And so if you've got a room where the lights are dimmed and the music's on and the candles are lit and everyone in the room is lower than you, either sitting or squatting, and the mama is the tallest person in the room, that's very empowering to her. And that alone helps the endorphins to flow and give her that pain relief. But we also do the positionings I talked about, massage, essential oils, hydrotherapy, so getting a mama in the tub can just allow her muscles to relax, and providing nitrous oxide for mamas that feel like they just need to take the edge off some of the contractions. We do have medications at the birth center. Those are primarily for any antibiotics that may be needed in labor, as well as medications for the postpartum period, vitamin K injections for the babies if that's the mom's and partner's desire, and if there should be any bleeding postpartum that is, kind of above the normal, we have medications to help stop that. The care at the birth center. So, what does that look like? How many appointments do you get and such? It's similar to care you would get at any other office. We see moms throughout their pregnancy less frequently and getting more frequent as the pregnancy goes on. And then throughout the entire process is the education, the classes, so that mamas know when to call and when to arrive in labor at the birth center. We usually send you back to your home around 4 to 12 hours after the birth of the baby. And that seems early for people. We get a lot of questions on that leaving at 4 hours. And primarily, I think, from family members of like, how in the world can you go home with that little of a baby? But I think that speaks to our education. To be honest with you, in my years of working at birth centers, the only moms that wanted to stay longer were the moms who had kids at home and they liked the quiet atmosphere. That you'll have the education, you'll have the tools, you'll have the resources that you need. You will feel comfortable going home at 4 hours. We wouldn't send anyone home if they weren't comfortable at that period. Within 24 hours, you'll get a call from a midwife, just follow up, asking how baby's doing, how many poops and pees baby's had, how breastfeeding is going, how mom's bleeding is doing, how everyone's feeling. At 2 days after delivery, we'll see mom and baby for a full visit, so full assessment on baby as well as mom. And then at the 6 weeks, we'll see mom kind of for her final sign off that she's okay to return to all her normal activities.
So let me ask you a question about the 2-day visit. I saw online that you guys are going to be offering the home visits. Can you talk about that?
Yes, so we will offer home visits. A nurse or a midwife will be able to come to the client's home to do that 2-day visit. And that's a great chance to see the atmosphere, the resources, the community around that mom and give her kind of tailored, specialized care for what's going on in her environment. But that would be also a full newborn assessment, weighing the baby, as well as a full check on mom of vital signs of everybody.
So to me, that sounds amazing because I remember the pressure of like, I have to take this creature somewhere else.
Yes.
Trying to get us both dressed, sort of,
and then you make it without the diaper bag and the baby poops.
Or you bring like 90 things in the diaper bag.
Yeah.
Or 2 diaper bags.
No, it's a great option and alternative for mamas.
That sounds great.
For sure. More on how the birth center setting may be different. Another question that comes up often are transfers or, hospital. What happens if we do need to go? And again, we're very specific in our healthy mom and healthy baby. And if at any point during the care that the care at the birth center is not the safest place for mom and baby, we have a great partnership with Lutheran Medical Center in which we can do a smooth, easy transfer. And so we're working very closely with the midwives there and doing midwife to midwife transfer, which is great for allowing the same model of care, but in a setting that can provide more technology or monitoring that may be required from that pregnancy or of that baby. We're working hard with the collaboration with the physicians as well. And again, just that working relationship that we can transfer and allow for a healthy mom and healthy baby in whatever setting is best for that pregnancy.
Cool.
And so the birth center, again, and I'll go back to, we're low intervention, low risk, healthy mamas, and that's the majority of the pregnancies in the United States. But should the pregnancy, come up with a complication, we would want to get that mama to a safe place for further monitoring. And so some of those may involve twins, high blood pressure, diabetes, any previous cesarean section, any heart disease, blood clotting disorders. And each visit is just kind of reevaluation of, is the birth center the safest place, the best place for that healthy mom and healthy baby.
So what about doulas? We have a question here. Do you guys encourage doula-assisted births?
Absolutely. We love to have doulas as a part of the team. Really, it's about what the mama wants. So if that's something that feels right and good to her and her family, that extra support, doulas are always a wonderful addition to the birth team and will be welcome.
Great.
And kind of leading into that, we pride ourselves on being holistic and providing our clients with additional resources within the community. And so hooking them up with massage therapists, a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, any additional nutritional classes that they may want, just to give them the resources, education that they need for that. In-house, we'll have a pretty education-intensive program as well. And so that includes childbirth education, a breastfeeding class, and a newborn class. And again, I go back to we're sending mamas home at that 4-hour mark after birth. And so those classes are necessary in order to prep them to know how to care for that newborn when they get home, when to call the midwife if complications arise, how to make breastfeeding work well for those first 24 to 48 hours. And then I touched a little bit already on our well woman care and our preconception care, as well as we'll have some lactation counseling and contraceptive counseling available.
Wow, that sounds great.
And then insurance comes up as well. We'll accept most major insurance plans. For specific out-of-pocket costs will depend on that client's individual insurance circumstances, and we'll have people available to give more specifics at our grand opening that we'll tell you more about at the end. But I think you'll notice that even paying out-of-network or out-of-pocket can be a cheaper option than paying in-network in a hospital setting, and that just speaks for our low intervention. We don't have a lot of extra charges involved in the prenatal care, in the labor and birth and postpartum care. We're very much speak for this being a normal process of a woman's lifespan, and are there just to kind of support and educate her and monitor for any complications that may arise, but keeping in that low intervention setting keeps the costs down. Thank you for coming and hearing us, and we're super excited to be here in Denver. Lizzie's going to speak a little bit more about our grand opening party that's happening.
Yeah, thank you so much. We are really excited about our grand opening. We're going to have a whole tour set up basically for everyone who pre-registers. Do go to info.babyandcompany.com/WR, WR for Wheat Ridge. Our address is 7777 West 38th, and it's in Wheat Ridge, just on a really neat strip that's being just revitalized in such a cool way. We're really excited to be there. We will have 2 photographers that are birth photographers there doing like a mini pop-up session.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever done any mini sessions with your families, ladies, but it's a pretty neat experience because you can just get in, and these will be free to the people who pre-register. So definitely do that. We will also have Allie Warren is donating from Naturally Loved, a baby carrier, and we've talked with Catherine, who's right here. We're in her dining room about adding an additional class that would be part of our raffle for Denver Natural Mom. Her curriculum is incredible. What else?
Massages.
Massages. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, we have a package of 3 massages from Belly Bliss. Belly Bliss is a partner who will also be adding additional curriculum to our education center, and so many more things. Meals from Organic Dish. Organic Dish is a company based out of Boulder that does meal delivery for families and celebrations, really anything you want. But we think it matches up really nicely with new families having new babies. And
wow, sounds like a great day. What an
Yeah.
awesome opportunity to come see the center
Yes.
and to hang out with other moms, which, that's like one of my favorite things.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
chance to meet some of your partners too, Lizzie.
definitely bring your kids, because
Okay.
we will have kids curriculum. We'll have a fun section for them. A woman named Rebecca who teaches classes out of Belly Bliss is also going to be there working with kids, doing some movement, but also some crafting and art project that I'm really excited about, that actually will kind of tie back into the mini photo sessions.
Oh,
And the photographers, I should just quick mention, are Monet Nicole, who you ladies know, and also Jennifer Rainey, 2 amazing childbirth photographers who specialize in that area of photography.
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's been such a privilege to get to meet you guys and hear more about Baby+Company, and I'm really excited about all of the opportunities that moms have just to even become more educated about, the way that their birth can be. It doesn't have to be like in the movies. There are so many more options out
Definitely.
there. And Baby+Company is just kind of adding to that. So we're really excited to have more birth centers in Colorado, and wish that other people could be as lucky as we are here in Denver to have choices with where we have our babies. With that said, just want to bring everybody back to that website. Make sure you sign up to get on Baby+Company's mailing list, and that way you'll hear more about the party and other opportunities that you might, even if you're a practitioner yourself and you want to
Yeah.
partner with these ladies. They're doing some great stuff. Look forward to seeing you all at the grand opening.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting us.
Yeah.